Scientists have spent decades studying why some people live past 100 in perfect health, while others fall apart in their 60s. Three of the most respected longevity researchers in the world were finally asked the most personal version of that question. Not what their data says, not what they recommend to patients, what they personally eat every single day to stay healthy as they age. The answers are not what most people expect, and by the time we get to number 7, you are going to understand something about longevity that the supplement industry does not want you to figure out. Stay with me because number 8 is something you can start doing tomorrow morning with zero effort. These researchers are not selling anything. Dr. Valter Longo directs the Longevity Institute at USC. Dr. Marta Guasch-Ferré published major research on diet and mortality at Harvard. Dr. Jali Dai-Keller studies nutritional epidemiology at the University of Sydney. People who have spent their careers reading every study ever published on this topic and then going home and cooking dinner. What they cook matters. And all three of them say the same thing before mentioning a single food. The secret is never one ingredient, it is a pattern. A consistent, mostly plant-forward way of eating that someone can genuinely sustain for decades. Not a 30-day reset, decades. Keep that in mind as we go through this. Number 1 is the one people always think they already know, but almost nobody is actually doing correctly. Vegetables. Across massive population studies tracking thousands of people over many years, vegetables are consistently one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging, preserved cognitive function, and reduced cardiovascular risk. The reason is not simply fiber. It is the specific combination of polyphenols, plant compounds that actively reduce inflammation and slow cellular damage at a molecular level. Dr. Dai-Keller says eat them at every single meal from breakfast through dinner and rotate through as many different types as possible. Different vegetables contain different compounds, and your body needs all of them. Number 2 is fruit, and specifically berries. Berries keep appearing in cognitive health research in a way that stands out from other foods. The goal is not loading up on blueberries specifically. It is building a rotating mix of seasonal and frozen options eaten consistently. Frozen fruit is nutritionally identical to fresh, by the way, so the cost and convenience barrier essentially disappears. Dr. Dai-Keller adds fruit to yogurt every single morning, and that connects to something we will come back to at number 8. Number 3 has the most research behind it and also the most underrated reputation in modern nutrition. Beans and lentils. Legumes show up in every single longevity diet pattern ever studied. Mediterranean populations eat them. Okinawans eat them. Blue zone communities across 5 continents eat them. Dr. Longo places legumes at the center of his longevity diet and describes the evidence connecting them to longer, healthier lives as appearing across so many independent studies that it is essentially impossible to dismiss. There is also a specific biological reason they matter more as we get older. Protein. Legumes are among the best plant-based protein sources available, and protein in midlife is directly tied to preserving muscle mass. Losing muscle with age is one of the primary drivers of frailty and loss of independence. Beans and lentils are one of the most powerful tools against that process. Number 4 changes the conversation about protein entirely. Nuts and seeds. It is not just that they are healthy fats, it is about where protein comes from. Some longevity researchers have concerns about very high animal protein intake in midlife, and nuts and seeds offer quality protein without those concerns. Dr. Longo recommends combining seeds, nuts, and legumes together rather than relying on any single source. Dr. Dai-Keller adds chia seeds to yogurt every morning for fiber, plant protein, and omega-3 fatty acids. 10 extra seconds of effort. Number 5 is the single easiest swap on this list. Extra virgin olive oil replacing butter and other animal fats. Dr. Guasch-Ferré grew up in Barcelona eating a Mediterranean diet, and she is direct. Swap the butter for olive oil. The research connecting olive oil to reduced inflammation and better cardiovascular outcomes has been replicated across dozens of studies, and it is far more versatile than most people use it for. Frying eggs, baking, sauces, dips. The barrier is almost zero, and the evidence is real. Number 6 is where the specific word matters enormously. Whole grains. Not grains, whole grains. white bread, white rice, processed carbohydrates, these are not what the researchers are eating. Whole grains appear consistently across every dietary pattern associated with slower biological aging. They support metabolic health and provide fiber in ways refined versions simply cannot. Oats, quinoa, brown rice, barley, whole grain bread, nothing exotic, just consistently choosing the less processed version. Number 7 is where this list shifts, and this is the point I mentioned at the beginning. Fish. This list is overwhelmingly plant-forward, but fish holds a clear place in it. Dr. Longo includes fish as a consistent part of his largely plant-based eating pattern. The omega-3 fatty acids in salmon and sardines have some of the most replicated evidence in nutritional research for brain and cardiovascular health. But the reason fish really matters here is not just what it adds, it is what it replaces. All 3 researchers explicitly recommend limiting red and processed meat. Fish is the replacement. This is not about adding more things to eat. It is about building a pattern that crowds out the foods associated with accelerated aging. Number 8 is the one I promised at the start. The food probably already in your fridge that almost nobody thinks of as a longevity tool. Yogurt. Dr. Di Keller's advice for anyone overwhelmed by all of this is simply to start here. Yogurt delivers high-quality protein, live cultures that support the gut microbiome, and works as a base for combining several other foods from this list into one meal. Add fruit and chia seeds and you have covered 4 items before leaving the house. Research keeps connecting gut health to immune function, cognitive performance, and the actual pace of biological aging. Yogurt with live cultures is one of the most affordable ways to support that every single day. Number 9 has the most unfair reputation in Western kitchens: tofu and soy. Soy foods appear prominently in the Okinawan diet, one of the most studied longevity eating patterns in the world. Dr. Di Keller prepares tofu in curries, braises, and as crispy pieces with Korean-style sauces. Her point is simple. The problem is almost never the tofu. The problem is that it was prepared without flavor. Tofu absorbs everything around it. Season it properly, and it becomes something completely different. Its role in a longevity diet is as a plant protein that reduces reliance on red and processed meat, which every researcher on this list says to limit significantly. The scientists are equally clear about what to take off the plate. Red meat, especially processed red meat, should be minimized. Once a week is the suggested ceiling, if eaten at all. Sugary drinks and foods need to come down. And anti-aging supplements deserve real skepticism. Dr. Di Keller says the evidence behind most of them is extremely thin, and she does not personally take them. The people who have built their careers around this science are not buying longevity supplements. That should tell you something. There is no powder or pill hiding behind any of this, just real food, eaten consistently by people who genuinely love what they eat. One of the researchers makes the point that food being shareable and culturally meaningful is itself part of what the data shows about living longer. The social experience of eating together is woven into the science just as much as the nutrients are. If this gave you something useful, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this channel. See you in the next one.